Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to talk about section 12, or unit 12, day 2, adding polynomials. So your goal by the end of the hour today is to be able to add polynomials. Polynomial operations for additions are very similar to what we did on the Delta Math assignment, so you need to make sure that that is completed before you do today's homework, where we only add our like terms and we combine them by adding the coefficients. We don't touch the exponents because that changes what they're worth. We're just collecting. That's what adding is. Collecting how many of the like terms, and like terms again must have exactly the same variables and exponents. Otherwise they are not considered like terms. So what I'm going to do is go through an example. And we have two polynomials. The first one we have here is a trinomial, and the second one we have is a binomial. The degree of the trinomial is a degree 2, and the degree of the binomial is a degree, also a degree 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for our like terms. Since we're adding, we can drop the parentheses so that now we have a collection of just terms, individual monomials that we're going to add together. And we're going to look and group our like terms. You might not have to do the grouping stage. But we have a 5x squared and a positive 3x squared. We have a negative 4x, and that one does not have any other like terms. But we also have a positive 7 and a negative 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine our like terms by looking at the coefficients. And remember, the coefficients are the number being multiplied by the variable. So 5x squareds plus 3x squareds give me 8x squareds. Minus 4x doesn't have a partner, and positive 7 and negative 8 leave us negative 1. So our resultant from adding the trinomial and the binomial is another trinomial. And notice our degree did not get any larger since we're just adding. Here's our second example that we're going to go through. 7w to the third plus 2w plus 5 plus the trinomial 6w cubed minus 5w squared minus 11. We're adding two polynomials together, so we're going to drop our parentheses and we're going to make it a collection of terms. And we're going to look for our like terms. A 7w cubed is a like term with a positive 6w cubed. So I'm going to group those together. And sometimes it's not enough to just box them because some of you are losing sign errors in between here, so you might need to rewrite. My next highest power, since we want to write these in descending eventually, is a negative 5w squared. That does not have a partner, and another one that also doesn't have a partner is this one, 2w. These are different because one is a w squared and one is a w to the first. It might not have written it, but that's the power that is right there. We also have a positive 5, and we also have a constant of negative 11. So we're going to go ahead and combine those like terms. 7w cubed plus 6w cubed. We're looking at our coefficients and adding those. 7 plus 6 is our 13w to the third power. Negative 5w squared did not have a partner, so that gets rewritten. Positive 2w to the first did not have a like term. And positive 5 and negative 11 leaves us with negative 6. And that's our answer. So those of you that were pretty good at your Delta Math, today's lesson should go fairly quickly. This way I'm going to show you, it says using the vertical method. I'm going to show you another technique for solving these. Some of you may like this because it forces you to group them in order by like terms already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list my first polynomial. This has 4 terms. And notice that if I look in the exponents, it's got an x to the 4th. It doesn't have an x to the 3rd, but then it goes x squared, x to the 1st, and really x to the 0th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little gap. I'm going to leave that gap for the w to the 3rd that's not there, and minus 9x squared plus 2x and minus 3. And then what I'm going to do is copy this polynomial down, 7x cubed plus 5x squared minus 7x plus 4, and I'm going to rewrite that under the things that they have in common. So a 7x to the 3rd, there's no x cubed up here, so I'm just going to write positive 7x cubed where we left this gap. And then I'm going to write down the next one, a positive 5x squared. I'm going to line it up so that's lined up under this one, because those are like terms. Then I'm going to take a negative 7x and line it up under its like term. And then I'm going to take a positive 4 and line it up under its like term. So this is the vertical method. That means we're adding up and down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create this line. And we're going to add up and down. 10x to the 4th does not have a partner, so we rewrite it. 7x cubed doesn't have a partner, so it's basically like 0 plus 7x cubed, so 7x cubed. Negative 9 and positive 5 are negative 4x cubed and x squared. And since we're just adding, we're looking at the coefficients, those numbers in front, because those are the numbers that tell us how many we have, and that's what we're doing here. Positive 2x minus 7x would give me a negative 5x, and negative 3 plus 4 leaves me with positive 1. And that's my polynomial. (10x to the 4th minus 7x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5x plus 1. And that's what you're doing today. You're also going to see problems like this, and I've got a bar set up because I'm going to show you 2 different methods for this. The first one is to combine the like terms, and since we're adding, we can drop our parentheses. And we can organize those by like terms again. 7x plus 9x. We also have like terms of negative 2y and a negative 4y. And when we combine them, we've got 16x minus 6y. And then we can go ahead and plug in our variables, what x and y are both worth. It's a substitution. So if my x value is negative 3, I can plug that in where I see an x. And if my y value is 2, I can plug that in where I saw the y. And I'm just going to evaluate this. So 16 times negative 3 minus 6 times 2. So 16 times negative 3 is negative 48. Minus 12, we should have negative 60. And we should get the exact same thing if we do this other method. And I do want you to write this down as well. So if you want to get started on your homework, you got to make sure this is written down first. We're going to do the substitution right away. So we've got 7 times negative 3 minus 2, instead of y we write 2, plus 9 times negative 3 minus 4 times 2. So we're going to do all of our multiplication inside of our parentheses first. So negative 21 minus 4 plus, we've got 9 times 3 is negative 27 minus 8. So we're going to combine our like terms inside our parentheses, and we've got all constants here. So we've got negative 25 plus a negative 35, and when we add that together, we get negative 60. Same answer, 2 different ways of doing it, and it's your choice which way you'd like to do. Now you can get your homework for today, and you can go ahead and get started on that, and we will see you on Tuesday.